Hello there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Football Manager Therapy. I am your host, Rich Owens, and depending on the order in which you're listening to these podcasts, I'm back. If you're listening to them in a funny order, I've not been anywhere, and that just seems a little bit weird. I am joined today by one member of the FM team. It's Jeb, and it's really weird for me because the way I've got everyone positioned on the screen, Jeb's normally bottom right-hand corner. He's on the level with me today, and it's terrifying. I don't feel. I
don't even know which way to look. So.
I don't belong on your eye line, Jeb. It frightens me enormously. Jeb's here, and would you believe it? Jeb has brought a friend because joining us on the podcast this week, we've got two guests in a row. Who are we? We are the guest booking machine. Welcome to Ad. Hello, welcome to FMT, pal.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me. Did Jeb describe me as one of his friends then?
I didn't know. I was going to say, how dare you?
I thought we were just kind of Twitch colleagues.
I was going to say, I'm not even friends with you, Rich. So, you know.
No, we're friends, Jeb.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. And we're friends now too, Rich.
Of course we are. Of course we are. I'm like a golden retriever, mate. Once 5 minutes of somebody's company, I was like, I love him. He's my favourite. He's my favourite person in the entire world.
Amazing.
It's also nice to know that Jeb and I are friends as well. This is honestly one of the best days of my life. An associate is something that I think at best Jeb might describe me as, or somebody acquaintance. Yeah, Jeb regards me as and describes me to people as somebody that he's met. So this is massive. Ad, if the people watching or listening to this podcast are not aware of who you are or your work, the floor is yours. Tell the people who you are and tell the people what it is you're all about.
Wow. Okay. Well, my name is Ad, short for Adam. A lot of people call me Ad, and that's because that is my Twitch name. I stream over on Twitch, just like the pair of you two. I am a Twitch partner. I was about to say, unlike the pair of you two, that would be such a dig.
Wow.
Unnecessary dig, but also factual. I have been streaming now for 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, something like 3 years. And it has been absolutely incredible. It's enabled me to meet loads of amazing people. I got into it through Scroobius Pip, who some people may be aware of.
He's been on this podcast, on the Patreon. He's on there, yeah.
Has he?
Yeah, he was on in the Matt Richards era. He was on with about his Millwall saves.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I am friends with Pip and used to work with Pip. We actually used to run a podcast magazine called Pod Bible, which we did for 5 years, which started out as a very small magazine that we made and handed out outside tube stations. And then within a couple of years, we had a run of 85,000 of them going out with the Sunday Times, where we'd interview podcasters, review podcasts, do all sorts of recommendations and stuff in a magazine. And then we'd also have a website and a podcast, which I hosted. So I've also hosted the Pod Bible podcast. I used to do a wrestling podcast for 5 years as well, called Hardest Part of the Ring. I guess if anybody is listening who's familiar to me, they'll probably be familiar through Twitch.
Amazing. So Jeb, what you've done is you've brought in somebody who's been streaming less time than us and is wildly more successul than us.
Yep, that's correct. And he used to run a podcast thing, but we can't get in there because he doesn't do that anymore. Works stuff.
Yeah.
I know, and I would have put you in there. That's what I say to all podcasters I meet now. The magazine's closed. Yeah.
That's amazing stuff, though. So interesting. Talk to us about, I suppose you say you kind of got into streaming through Pip. How did that kind of come about? What was the catalyst for you kind of, getting in front of a camera and a PC and playing some games?
Well, because I've followed everything Pip has done. So I was a fan of Pip's before I was a friend of Pip's, and I ended up doing a few, because I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I did a few little bits and pieces for Pip over the years when he used to tweet things like, "Oh, are there any graphic designers that follow me who could just do a quick, Photoshop of this?" I did a couple of things like that, and then we sort of got on well. I ended up doing a couple of like pitch documents for his scripts and stuff like that. And when his friend Stu had the idea of putting together Pod Bible, Pip was like, well, I know this guy called Adam who could do the design for it. And then that escalated, and I ended up being like a equal shareholder director for that for the 5 years. And it was during those 5 years that Pip started streaming himself. So he got into Twitch loads over lockdown. He used to watch a lot of Limmy, and then sort of the expanded community from Limmy, watching them play a lot of Rust and things like that. And so when Pip said he was going to stream, he asked me if I'd do his graphics for him for Twitch. And I hadn't watched any Twitch at that point. I was one of those people who had no interest, didn't get it, didn't understand the appeal of watching people play computer games online. And I didn't really know what he needed. I made this graphic that went in the corner of his screen that said live now, and had all this social media, and it basically took up too much real estate, and he ditched it quite soon. But I remember watching his early streams, and just sort of it clicked. I was like, I get it now. This isn't just about like people watching from outside a window as you're inside playing a game. They are actually in the room with you, interacting. Like the biggest thing about Twitch for me is the interaction with chat. And obviously Pip, is the kind of guy that has like a fan base that are mostly a good bunch of people. So I started getting to know people, and I was like, this is a really nice, friendly place to come and do this kind of stuff. And because I'd done podcasting and I'd done YouTube videos for Pod Bible, I've always been sort of quite into, putting myself out there, presenting stuff. I thought I'd give it a go. So I did. And I guess that's why I was able to be successful fairly quickly, is that Pip, on my first stream, I got a raid from Pip. He streamed before me. I went live and he raided me with 80 people or whatever it was. And so that was a really amazing boost. And then, we've just gone from there.
Yeah. I think I was there for that first stream. That was quite nice, but yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I've watched many a stream afterwards, and then if anybody's ever been on my YouTube, which has 27 subscribers or whatever it is on there is an entire playlist dedicated to stupid things I've made from your stream. Like, I've made more creative things for your stream than I have for any of my own streams, which is quite bizarre, but yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love everyone you've done.
Yeah, they're all random, stupid things. I think still my favourite is the recreation of Total Recall, because you said you were away for 2 weeks, and for some reason I just went off 2 weeks, and the 2 week scene where Arnie rips the head off that woman, and he's been posing as a woman the whole time. So yeah, and then made one of your friends as the bomb. So yeah, I don't know why.
It's excellent.
Shout out from Albert. So.
Yeah. And I love that side of Twitch as well, like the interactivity, like the people in chat really get involved. And Jeb's done stuff like that. I've had people make little songs, or like even when I'm streaming, something funny will happen, and Jeb makes the effort to do a video, but somebody else might just quickly Photoshop something silly that I've mentioned, and then I like doing that for others as well. So I sometimes will do stuff like that for Pip, or make emotes for people, or I wasn't expecting the community side of it to be such a thing. And to meet and make so many proper good friends. But I think it's because we are all like a bunch of sort of like-minded people who have similar values. It just means that the chances of me, making great friends is so high. Like I'll meet somebody, I'll be like, oh, it's another person I really like and want to get to know. And whereas usually in real life, in work situations, you might find it one or two of your kind of people, and then the rest of them you can't be arsed with. But yeah. But I love it. It's great fun.
No, I love that. I really, really love that. And I think there are so many, I think you can make very easy comparisons between that side of Twitch, because again, Twitch was comparatively new to me, similar to yourself. It was kind of lockdown that I really kind of started to get into it. Prior to that, very much like yourself, I was similar kind of circumstances. I don't understand the appeal of watching somebody play a game live. A well-edited YouTube video, a bit of storytelling on YouTube could be a little bit different, but for the most part I was like, oh, what is watching somebody do it live unedited, I'm not sure. But then you start hanging out with people, you get to know people in other people's chats, and it's like-minded people. And one of the great things about Football Manager, which we'll talk about today as well, shockingly enough,
of course, I hope so.
If you're watching an FM streamer, if you're chatting to somebody, if you're interacting in their chat and you're interacting with their chat, you already have something in common. Yes. FM in and of itself,
That's
up
true,
until I'd
actually,
say
yeah.
very recently, it's a comparatively niche game. It's a sports game where you don't play sport, which is, for most of the other, especially popular streaming sports games out there, if you would say, right, we're going to play this game, but we're not actually there's going to be no gameplay here. We're just going to be setting things up and planning, but we're not actually going to see. You're not going to control the game. If you're playing FIFA and it's like, we're actually not going to play any matches today, we're just going to tinker around in the menus for 3 or
Yeah.
4 hours. Be like, this is ridiculous. But you watch somebody doing it on Football Manager, like, this is the most engaging thing I think I've ever seen in my life. And you've got other people who are like, oh my God, this is incredible. And it's just instantly, you've met a new friend. We've done live events in the past. We've also, Jeb and I have been involved in our former podcast colleague Callum's live events when he had a partnership with Slough Town, kind of going down there. People from the FM community travelling overseas to go and watch a non-league game of football in Slough.
Non-league friendly, not even a competitive game of football.
Yeah. But you just meet. It's like people are here because they really like Callum and they also really like Football Manager. So it's that really nice experience of meeting like-minded people. And, just based on the last 10 minutes of chatting to you, I'm really, really glad that Pip talked you into it. It's always a really, really nice thing.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it.
Mate, it's true though. It's one of those things. I'm very similar to yourself. I had a former host of this podcast, Tony Jameson, bullied me into it. I was hanging out in his streams. He was a big one that kind of got me into that. In chatting to him, watching him on Twitch, I was like, oh no, this makes a lot more sense now. I get this. This is good stuff. And then he kind of bullied me into starting. So I'm very, very grateful that he did. But it's nice to have somebody who just willing to take a punt and say, yeah, I reckon you'd be quite good at this. So it's always a really, really nice feeling. Talk to us then, I suppose, about a typical ad stream. What's the vibe? What is it? Variety streams? Do you have particular favourite games you like to go back to?
Yeah, I say variety. Your recent months has been a little less variety, but it's funny because when I first started planning on streaming and I started writing down games that I think I might play, I had Football Manager on there. And because we will talk about it, but that is the game I've played most in my life by a million miles. But when I first started watching Pip, he was playing Rust because he joined Limmy's Rust server. People don't know about the game Rust. It's like a survival game that is, I don't know. Actually, I'm terrible at describing game genres. How do you describe
it? It's like
Jeb?
Minecraft for adults, even though Minecraft is for adults, but it's like Minecraft for adults. I think that's the nicest way, with more guns and more violence.
More guns, more violence, a lot more threat. You're not being chased around by like spiders or zombies. You're being chased around by other players on the server that are quite often terrifying. And there's just always like this existential dread whenever you leave your base. There's something about the game. It's such a satisfying game to watch. And I remember watching Pip play it, and like the sound design is something that everybody talks about when you're crafting things, when you're hitting trees, whatever it may be that you're doing. There's just something about it that just scratches an itch in my brain and a lot of people's brains and makes people want to play it for hours on end. So I was like, right, I need to play that game. I downloaded it. I went on a random server online, and that was a big mistake because those servers are full of horrible, toxic people who just call you horrible, disgusting things and then just completely wipe your whole base within moments of you joining. And I knew I would want to join Limmy's server. So I did manage to get on one of Limmy's servers before he completely ended it. But yeah, I've played a lot of Rust. I think Rust is my most played game. But then I've also played a lot of Snooker 19. Which is one of the only games that I've actually been quite good at. I've played a lot of The Sims. In fact, when I first started streaming, I did The Sims. I'm kind of up and open to anything because I've played Football Manager since I was about 12 or 13. That was my game, so much so that I'd go to LAN parties. And I've got some very nerdy friends who would like play all of the games, and we'd arrange to go around each other's houses and we'd take our PCs or our laptops. Well, later years laptops. In early years, our massive monitors and our PCs, and they'd all be playing, I don't know, Return to Castle Wolfenstein or Alien versus Predator, wherever it might be, and I'd just be there playing football, Championship Manager. It's been really fun to discover loads of games. So I played things like Portal for the first time on stream, and other games where people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't played this. It's so great to get to watch somebody discover it for the first time. So it's been a bit of a gaming awakening for me being on Twitch. And I've loved it. But at the same time, I also like chatting. I always I end up doing like an hour or even longer of chatting. And for me, that's kind of my favorite part, catching up with people, talking about the stuff that's been happening to me, kind of using it maybe a little bit as like a faux therapy, which is obviously relevant to the name of your pod and things like that. Yeah, just catching up with people and having a laugh. Really, I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And then you've got your regular assessment segments like the crossword that's every week, and that like I think we're talking about channel gambling, point gambling, and I think that is probably the biggest point gambling thing that you have. Other than actually, one of the things, the property guesser, I think that was something I just randomly found. I went, add this will be good for you.
Yeah.
And then you do that on stream, and that's always quite funny because you sometimes look for a certain chair, or if there's actual real grass in the back garden, so it's like basically going on Rightmove and guessing how much the property's worth.
Like little web games and regular segments, and I've also done a thing called Show Us Your Stuff, which has been like a regular, almost like a chat show, where I come up with a subject. So we've done toys, we've done like old tech, we've done autographs, books, and I just say, right, show me your stuff. Like I want to see your cool toys or your consoles or your autograph collection. Like I want you lot, and I kind of use chat for my content. But people really love showing off their own stuff, especially if they're not a streamer and they don't have the chance to do it. And so people send me photos or videos, or they come live on stream and they have a chance to talk me through their niche collections, whatever it may be. Or what else have we done? We've done all sorts. I think I've done about 20 different ones now, or maybe 15. But yeah, that's cool. I love that side of it. I love the chatting and the interacting, because I am not very good at computer games. So sometimes when I'm playing a game on stream and it's going badly, I'm like, why am I even doing this? Let's just go back to chatting to everybody.
And I think one thing I can point out, probably this is more for the video viewers. The video viewers as opposed to the audio listeners. There you go. I've done words here. There's a shiny round ball behind you.
Oh yeah. Right. You're going to have to go and watch the YouTube video now, listeners.
Yeah.
This has been one of my major projects this year. Rich, this started life. Listener, I'm holding what looks like a perfectly spherical metallic ball. This is a roll of tinfoil. Your communal garden tinfoil. If you just buy your normal roll of tinfoil from the supermarket, and if you went back and watched all my streams, you'd sort of see a lot of this process. I was going to edit it into a video and I haven't got around to it. But you just crush it into a ball, and then you start hitting it with a big hammer, and then you go to a medium hammer, and then you get to a smaller hammer. It gets smaller and smaller and tighter. And this has been, something that, I don't know, have people enjoyed watching the journey of this ball? But then you sand it and then you polish it, and it is, I mean, it's not perfect, but look at that. Look at the shine on that.
Yeah.
For the audio listeners, Ad is holding a very, very shiny, like almost
silver
perfect
ball.
Sphere.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
But you could do it. It was really therapeutic for me. I found it, there'd be times when I'd be busy with work and I'd just be like, right, I'm just going to get away from my keyboard and hammer my ball for 2 minutes.
I like that you did that instead of starting Skyrim. I think that was that start of the year? It was something around there, yeah. Or when you returned after a bit of a break and you, instead of playing Skyrim, you just went, I've got a roll of tinfoil, and that was the entire stream for 3 hours. So
yeah. It's good. It's good fun. People were into it, I think. I don't know if it was pity, but I think a lot of people kept on checking in. How's the ball? How's the progress coming along?
I think
into that.
Yeah, we might have set a record here, Rich, for going the longest intro without talking about Football Manager.
I know. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
No.
But
I think
we usually do tangents at the start, but we're not too far
I'd mentioned it a couple of times at least.
Yeah,
it's
definitely come up. And I felt like it was coming up, but then, as is tradition, Jeb has dangled something shiny in front of me, and now I'm just completely fixated.
No, it's right there.
Is there much? I know it's going to sound daft because it's a roll of tinfoil. We've all held a roll of tinfoil. Is there much weight to it?
Yeah,
or is it?
yeah, it's pretty heavy actually. You could, I mean,
suppose 'cause-
you could knock somebody out with that. It's pretty hefty.
okay.
And
Well, that's now knowing that has curbed because my main instinct when I'm looking at that, I just want to bite it. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
And if we could injure somebody with it, I don't know if that's a great idea, but that's wow.
Oh, I really want to saw it in half, but then I saw a
Yes.
YouTube video where Adam Savage has done it and saws it in half, and it just looks how you'd expect. It's just some very compressed foil in there, because that's what it is. There's not a yolk. There's nothing interesting in there, I'm afraid.
Oh well. Yeah, I suppose now we've solved the riddle of what's inside the ball and that I'm not allowed or able to bite it. We should probably talk about Football Manager, shouldn't we? I mean,
Yes.
given the name of the pod. I mean, you mentioned earlier, Ad, that you've been playing the game for quite some time and you've taken it to LAN parties. I also, me and some of my friends, we have a LAN party about 2 or 3 times a year. And I've been barking up the Football Manager tree with my friends now for nearly 2 decades. And the only thing they hate more than real life football is virtual football. So it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And that's
same with my friends.
I've made my peace with it. But that's why we have the online friends who actually quite like it. You talk about early Champ Manager days. So where did your kind of your FM/Champ Manager journey begin?
I was trying to think about this because in my head I always say Champman 97, 98, but I don't know if maybe I did play the game before that. Was there a 96, 97 or was it just CM2?
So there was CM2 and there was a 96, 97 update. I had an EDOS Interactive Classic. So you could get, I think Tomb Raider was one of them and then Champman was the other. And I remember getting both of them. And then they did a 96, 97. It's almost like an update disc essentially, but it was the same game. It just had the new players.
Yeah, so I think I did play it before 97, 98. My best friend from primary school had it. So it would be something that I would play when I went round to his house. And 97, 98 was the one that I really, really got into. And I just remember being obsessed with it. So I was friends with him since I was 4 years old. And it must have been, so 97, 98, I would have been 14-ish. I just remember we used to do so many different things together, but as soon as he got that game, I'd just be like, can I come round? Can we play Championship Manager? It's all I want to do. And obviously you'll remember the playing it wasn't even a network game, was it? It was just the two of us sat in front of his PC together, were just the best days. And then going home, lying in bed thinking about my squad, going to school thinking about my squad. What am I going to do next time I go round? Who am I going to put an offer in for? And I think, was 97, 98 the one, or was it before, where you just basically sign Neil Lennon, sign Robert Taylor, Muzzy is it, and then you just win everything?
Yeah, it wasn't far off. That was the one that was with, that's the Taribo West one, isn't it? 97, 98, right? Where you get Taribo West on a free, and then that's it. You win everything as well.
0102 is Taribo West on a free.
Oh, it was 0102. So
yeah,
yeah.
I just remember. Yeah, we used to. It got to the stage where we start a new game and then we toss a coin. It's like, who's getting Neil Lennon, who's getting Robert Taylor. Neil Lennon was an AMC, and then Robert Taylor. I've no idea who Robert Taylor is. Obviously, Neil Lennon had quite an illustrious career and was a manager, and I don't know.
Are you thinking of Robert Page? I don't know.
No, he was called Robert Taylor. And I think he may have even been a Brentford player or something. I don't know. I'm now quickly Googling Robert Taylor, Brentford. No, maybe. Born 1971. So that does work, but I'll look into it later.
97, 98 was Ibrahima Bakayoko and Tommy Swindle-Larsen. I think they're the two that stand out. But I think everyone signed Bakayoko and then Everton signed him, and he was rubbish. He was one of the first ones to come out.
Yeah, Robert Taylor was at Brentford at 98, so I'm just pleased I've remembered something. That's a real treat. But yeah, and it kind of just went from there, and eventually I got my own PC maybe the year after that, and then got whatever Football Manager. I think CM3 came out at some point. Oh no, that was... it's all a little bit of a blur.
But I think it's CM3 and then 0102. I think that's the way it went.
And it's funny to think, isn't it, that we have lived through the change from CM2 to CM3, because that was quite a big change in the user interface and things like that. And I remember being like, I'm not sure about this, but there was no internet and no social media, and there was no big long video essays about what's interactive we've got wrong. But then, it was just one of the things. I was obsessed with it. I remember I used to print out my squad, take it into school, show it off to people. When you could print it off and it would have all the, stats, games played, goals, and at the times when you could get strikers who were scoring 40 goals in 30 games regularly, and you could really just have the most amazing saves. And so much of just constantly thinking about it during the day, like, I cannot wait to get home and load up my game, and here's everything I'm going to do. And I'd write out my squad on pieces of graph paper in maths. I'd put all like the different positions where I need to strengthen. And so just so much of my life, like even jobs, I remember doing that, just writing out my squad, just thinking, I can't wait to get home and play this game. Just decades of having that feeling during the day.
I love that. Is that still there now? Do you still put as much thought into it now, even though you're an adult?
If I've got a good save, I've got to say that I think since, I don't know, I became a dad 10 years ago, and when my daughter was a baby, I played quite a lot. But then when she became a toddler, and years since then, I played quite a lot less so I think I played every single game until maybe FM26 3 or something like that, and I just I think I had 1 year of the game that I didn't play at all, which I was like, well, this is it now. I'm an adult. My Football Manager's done for me, and I've loved it, and now I'm going to move on to other stuff. I'm going to experience other things and think about other things. And then, I don't know, I must have heard somebody talk about it or see somebody playing it, and I just thought, oh, that feeling when you get a little idea in your head of a new save, like a new team to play as. And then, in the last couple of years, I have started playing quite a lot again. And I've currently got a game in FM26 that, I have been thinking about quite a lot, and I have been writing down my lineup on bits of paper and thinking about that evening when I'm going to play more. So
amazing.
It's exciting.
Oh, I love that. So I'm a full-on press conference in the car guy. That's me. I'm because of my job, I spend a fair amount of time kind of out and about every week on my own in the car, and I don't like listening to the radio all that much. And so I'm at the traffic lights, and if people look in and see me, is he on a Bluetooth headset? Is he having an argument with somebody? It's just one of the journalists from the Times has dared to question a recent change to the lineup I've made, and I'm back. I'm arguing for the new Ben strike that's coming through. He deserves to replace. He deserves to replace the current strike, because he's got. And I've got the full Harry Redknapp. He's going straight to the top. I'm telling you now, he's going straight to the top.
The top.
Just while there's some old lady just waiting to cross the road in front of me. But I love that. I think that for me, that's always been one of the best things about Football Manager, is that it's not necessarily the game itself, but it's the stories you're telling, and it's the excitement that you create yourself. Not that the game requires you to create excitement, but it just happens naturally, because I think if you enjoy football, it goes hand in hand that you'd enjoy Football Manager. One of the biggest things, again, for me about football are the stories that football tells, and Football Manager gives you the opportunity to do that. And it's really, really nice to hear about other people who, like I say, it's just years and years and years of just, really thinking about it. But again, I remember similarly being in school, thinking about signings, thinking about transfers, thinking about tactics, rubbing my little hands together, getting all giddy about the fact that I might be able to go home and pick up that midfielder that I've had my eye on for a couple of seasons. Oh, it's lovely stuff. It really is.
And you'd be spending hours and hours and hours thinking about it, and then you'd get maybe 2 hours or something in the evening to actually play it. And then those 2 hours would fly by, and then you'd have to turn it off and go to bed. You'd be like, I can't believe this. I've got to wait, a whole other day before I can play this again.
Well, then it's the turning it off as well. Like, I think when I was running a bar in Birmingham in 10 years ago, so 2014, 15, and I had my laptop that I was using for work, and it always had Football Manager open because I'd never closed it. So I think FM15, I've got like two and a half thousand hours in, just because it was always on. Like the laptop was red hot all the time because it was on. But yeah, it was just leaving that on. I think it was like a Burnley save or something like that. I had to go in there and I picked up various. I'm trying to think, even on then Lavezzi, I think was probably my star player at that stage. But it was just, you just didn't want to turn it off just in case, like in case you lost that winning streak, or I don't know why. I actually can't figure out why I didn't turn it off. I guess it was just one of those things, distract me from work, just click over.
It might have run better if you turned it off, or at least once. You know?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I was always quite scared because I know we've got a mutual friend, Cudder, who plays football. I don't know if he does anymore, but he used to have it on whilst he was working, a little break in a meeting, a couple of continues or whatever. But I've always been, I like my stats to be accurate. So I would, even if I'm playing it and then I'm going to go and cook dinner or something, I will save and quit. And if I'm away for half an hour, I'll then come back and load up, because I like looking through and seeing which ones I've played the most and sort of remembering why and what sort of saves I had, rather than all of them are thousands of hours because I just left it on.
Yeah, because I think I sent it to Cudder because I think I've got Leluja on my Steam friend list from when he was on the podcast. So that's his job, is Football Manager, playing that, and obviously the stuff with Lego and things like that. Could have had more hours recently than Leluja did, and I was just like, what are you doing? Just because he left it on that much in the background. So
incredible. Yeah.
What about saves for you? Any like saves that have stood out in your many years?
Yeah. I'm sure there are amazing forgotten games, but when I think about the ones that really stick out, I had as everybody has done, like a lower league before, like the lowest league you could get in the game without having an editor or add-ons to get lower leagues. I remember taking Yeovil all the way up to the Premier League. I think that was the first time I did that, and I've done that kind of thing since. But I really remember that. I had an amazing Marseille game, and it must have been. I think I must have been about 17. So year 2000, with where I took Robbie Keane to Marseille, and he scored 50 goals in a league season. And it just feels so fucking good when that kind of thing happens. And I remember, again, I'd printed that out because I'd just got a PC in my bedroom for the first time and a printer, and I printed out my squad. And I just remember just looking at that, like, even though I knew the numbers, just looking at those figures for Robbie Keane and just feeling so great about it, and seeing the average rating was like well over 8. That particular game really stands out. I also did one. So I went to school near a little town called Burgess Hill in Sussex. And I did have a game where quite recently where they're in, I don't know, a very, very low league, and I managed to get the update, or I edited it, or whatever it was. So I had them in the game, and I took them all the way to the Premier League. But I also had one player. I sent you a screenshot, Jeb, of this guy called Cameron Wiltshire, who was a youngster for Burgess Hill. And I took him all the way to the Premier League, and he played at least one league game in every single season. I loved that one. But yeah, those are sort of the main ones that I can think of and remember. But to be honest with you, my current save on FM26, I'm pretty happy with. But I'm sure we'll get to talking about the new game shortly.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for not embarrassing us like Bazzy Boy did last week, where he's like, well, what's your greatest achievement? Oh, I've won the Champions League twice with a French territory team. Like, it's like, okay, cool.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
And broke the game, and it's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, you can play the game. Well done. Like, it's just,
I don't think I'm that good at the game necessarily. I've had games where I've won the league in multiple different seasons, but they sort of, I can't remember what teams I was, and they don't necessarily stand out that much. It's usually like the silly things or the individual players, like the Robbie Keane or the Cameron Wiltshire, or those are the things I remember.
Yeah, it was Football Manager 24. I had over 2,000 hours in, and I didn't win the Premier League until the very last stream of it, the day before FM26 came out, and he's going, oh, what did you do? I did this twice. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. Yeah. But there we are.
That's the thing, isn't it? And for me, I love the idea of you getting really, really excited about Robbie Keane just absolutely dominating Liga. There's something just really, really satisfying about really, really big numbers essentially on a spreadsheet and feeling responsible for them. It's a wonderful feeling. Friend of the podcast, Mad Scientist, he does the wonderful retro databases. His 97, 98 database from a couple of FMs ago, I did an Inter Milan save with that. And of course, you've got pre-horrific injury Ronaldo.
Oh my God, yeah.
He put up something
we used
ridiculous,
to get to play with.
118 goals, I think it was, in all competitions across the season.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, on the one hand, this is pointless because I think the first season did it all on stream, did a big charity one, and I think we went undefeated one season. And I'm like, this is amazing. It doesn't really count because, you know, back in the day, the old FMs, in terms of the attributes, they were either 20s or they were 1s. You were either really, really good at something or you couldn't do it. There was no middle ground in terms of the players. And, you know, Ronaldo's got these just obscene attributes. And, of course, he's going to score 100-plus goals with the modern-day match engine and the way that works.
Yeah.
It didn't cheapen it for me in the slightest, though.
No, that's what you're trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
and
just
it's such a buzz.
Yeah, I remember one game, it was somebody like Fiorentina, we beat them 9-1, and he scored all 9 goals. And I'm like, that's a triple hat-trick. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. This isn't getting old. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
And there's something about, I'm sure I mean, there may be, you may have discussed this many times before, but obviously the fact that in the early games when it was just text-based with no game engine and it was the flashing text when you scored a goal, and the fact that they've kept that throughout, I think is just so important. But that feeling, like I feel like if I was just out and about and I don't know, and I saw like a bit of flashing text like that, it would give me a pep. But it's just such an incredible thing. I don't know. I just feel like I hadn't actually thought about that much, but maybe I need to set this up on my laptop or something. If I'm having a bad day, just every so often be able to see like my name maybe in text saying Adam has scored. Or it's just, I love that they've kept that in throughout the whole thing. It's beautiful.
I mean, it's lovely seeing your own name up there. I had a very old Sheffield Wednesday save, and I want to say FM11 maybe, and I found a new gen with my name, and I signed him at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
and because being a Wednesday fan back then, and I'm using inverted commas here, audio listeners, before content creation, just playing games for fun.
Yeah,
I'd manage Sheffield Wednesday all the time. I don't do it on stream now because I just don't like double misery, but back then I'd manage, everyone's happy, found a new gen with my name, first time I'd ever seen one, and he was atrocious. Like, he was so bad. It was like, but he's coming, and not only is he coming, that man is playing every single minute of every single fixture as long as he's not injured. And he finished, brought him in 17, I think he was. He got rejected by an academy, brought him in at 17. He stayed till he was 35. He was the club's top goal scorer just because he'd been there that long. It wasn't even that he was amazing. And I got the England job. He won multiple World Cups, but he was just there. He was just a bit player because everybody else is phenomenal, you know, especially the older FMs. If you wanted to do that, taking a club from, you know, the Vanarama all the way to the Champions League, you just needed to keep your job, because inevitably, once you got a bit settled in the higher divisions, the money started to come in and you can invest. 10 seasons in, it's all wonder kids. You're going to have the best possible chance. Virtual Rich Owens, you know, finishing England's all-time top goal scorer because he was playing with 10 of the greatest players to ever grace a football pitch. And he was just there. It was
just there.
Like a competition winner.
Just
it was phenomenal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But looking back at that again, the numbers and like record appearance maker, record goal scorer, and then, you know, as is tradition for a lot of people's FM saves, bring him into the backroom staff. That's something, again, he was like a physiotherapist with like,
even if they're terrible,
maybe as his like physio attribute.
It's so upsetting when they're terrible as staff, isn't it? When you've had like a cherished player and they retire, and then you look and you're
like you find like your old favorite players like Robbie Fowler. He's quite bad at being a coach and various other things.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the new game a couple of times, and I think one of the nice reasons to get you on as well is you're outside the FM community, and that's a nice way to put it. You're outside the content creation, all that side of things, and you're actually outside of social media completely.
Yes,
like you may log on, but you don't have any. But
last couple of years,
yeah. So, what's your opinion on the game so far?
Well, you say I'm outside of it all, but this is the most sort of content I've ever taken in on a game. This game coming out, I found myself watching YouTube videos and sort of round tables and interviews with Miles Jacobson and stuff that I've never watched before. Just because, it's there's just a lot of noise around this game. So I obviously heard the news last year about the new game not coming out, about FM25 not coming out. I remember immediately thinking of you lot and thinking, oh shit, because this is your content and this is the game you play on stream, and what are you going to do and how's that going to work out for you? But I also remember thinking, that's fine. I don't need to play that much, and this is great. Good for them. Great decision. Why not delay it a year and get it right? So when the beta came out, I remember thinking, this is just going to be fucking great, and I can't wait to play it and get on it. I'm not that furious or upset about it at all. I've actually found that year on year, as the game has got more complicated, I probably play it in a very similar way how I used to. I basically just buy the players, pick the starting 11, do the team talks, and that's kind of it. I delegate my training, I delegate everything to do with my under 21s and under 18s and bringing in staff for those people. I don't really do much. So there's been a lot of the other games over the last decade that's had like parts of the game that I just don't really touch anyway. But I have found that the last few updates there's been changes where I'm like, it's now taking me a little bit longer to get to the bits that I want to do, or it used to be so straightforward and now it's more complicated. And I feel like this update has sort of taken that to the next level. I can still do everything that I like doing, and I've played a couple of seasons. I've sped up and I've got my bookmarks, but everything does take a lot longer, and it feels like it could be a lot cleaner and a lot easier. But I love the look of the game. I do love a lot of the UI elements. I think are really cool. I love the tactical stuff with the in and out of possession, and I love the match engine. And most importantly, as with every single iteration of Champman and Football Manager that's come out, I love that it's got all the up-to-date players and transfers, and that's all that really matters. And obviously the Premier League stuff's really cool. I've just won the Premier League in my save, and to actually see the proper Premier League trophy with the right font and all that was really cool. So yeah, I'm sort of fine with it. I'm having a nice time and still enjoying playing the game.
Love that. I've genuine, because again, I'm very, very similar to you. I think the way that I play the game, and I feel the same. You know, I think, as you say, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of roundtables, a lot of quite angry feedback about the game from people, and I almost just feel like I'm just kind of stood behind this angry crowd, just playing the games. I'm having a really nice time over here with it. You know, for the most part, it's been great. And I think they're definitely, I agree with a lot of the other points you make. I think some of it could be a bit smoother for sure. I think from my perspective, I think this is an interesting question, because you've mentioned the UI there. Have you ever used any kind of like custom views, in terms of skins before? Is that something you've ever used, or you've always been kind of like a default FM skin kind of guy?
Yeah, default. The only thing I'd ever do is download face packs and badges. That's all I've ever done. But then it's funny because I also never used to consume any content, so I've never seen other people's games. And then I was watching Jeb play, I don't know when, a couple of months ago or something, and I was just like, oh, I like this, and he was like, oh yeah, it's this skin, here you go. So maybe I should have looked into all of that, but I haven't yet.
No, it's just like I say, it's a fun way of knowing, because again, you don't know outside of the wider FM community in terms of people that are playing it for non-content reasons. It's just interesting to me to kind of find out how much level of depth there is that some people will do and don't go to in that regard. I'd never used a custom skin until I started streaming the game. I'd never really bothered with it, and I'd never had any interest. And then more recently, I think we're a big fan of the Sasbaz and his kind of custom skin that for the last few iterations of FM, and it's wonderful, because it gives you, there's so much more information available to you. How you choose to use that information, or if you're me, ignore a lot of that information because you don't understand the numbers. It's just nice to have it there. It's it's in terms of looking at those players and looking at that career history, in terms of looking at the overall stats and numbers they put up for the season. It's all there and it's very, very clear for you. A lot of people have been really, really angry about the new UI. I'm having quite a nice time with it. It's from my perspective, I'm getting what I want out of the game with the current UI. I think I took to it a little bit quicker than others. I know some people are still quite angry about it and aren't enjoying it now. But for the most part, navigating around it for me has never been too much of an issue. So it's nice to hear that kind of, as Jeb says, that external viewpoint, and it's. I think you're one of us. I think you're on the right podcast because I think we're generally all in kind of pretty much in the same camp as you in terms of most of it. And you are right. The visual presentation is still brilliant. I still get giddy. I've got a team in the Champions League in my save, and that Champions League match day presentation, I'm still looking at it going, this is wonderful. Like this is really, really nice.
It is. It's a real treat. It does feel special. I just, there are the bugs and the little things that are broken and things, when you get locked into screens. The one that keeps happening to me is when you sign a new player and then you have to give them their squad number before the match, and then you're locked on the squad number screen and you can't advance to match and you have to save and quit and load. But there's loads of things like that I keep thinking, oh, that'll be fixed, and then it isn't. But it will be fixed at some point, And it's
the nature of games, isn't it? I think nowadays you don't get a polished CD or DVD ROM that you plug in. Like it's a living thing. I think there's things that the prioritizing now, and I imagine the list that they've got to go through and the stuff that they've got to fit. Like I still laugh at some of the menus you go on and he's like, oh, they've clearly not finished this bit. It's like, we'll just throw the data at the screen. There you go. You've got the data. That's all you need. We're not going to polish it or make it look any nicer. And it'll get there. It's like, I think the shouts, I only saw it on somebody else's stream. They've come in, so I think they'll be in this week, or by the time the pod comes out anyway. But the way the shouts have now just been kind of thrown on the end. So you've got your instructions and then the shouts just on the end, but it's in a different colour and it's a different type of pull-down menu. And you're just like, that's just basics. But I think there's 57,000 people playing the game now. I've just loaded up Steam charts just to see where they are. I mean, that's still quite a high number. There's also an Ampia Turner calendar being linked to. It's getting everywhere, Ad.
Oh wow, yeah, that's popping up in all of my browsers. I can't believe she's still got a calendar. It's not official.
But and I think people are still playing the game, and I need to play it some more. Hopefully, we'll start and get around to it as well. But I've still got 60 hours in the game. Like, you don't put 60 hours into a game that you really dislike, and I think that's the same for everyone else. I don't think it's on the same type of cycle as, for the content side of things, it's not on the cycle of FC26 where they all hate the game completely, but they still put 6 hours of streams out every single day or YouTube videos out along those ways.
Yeah. I'm just looking, I've got 65 hours. But yeah, I mean, I've quite enjoyed watching the videos about it. If I find a video where somebody's absolutely shitting on it, I just think, this is just Football Manager. But when I'm seeing people being constructive and talking about the fun side of it and the saves and the players that they're signing and the things that they like, then I don't mind if they're also being constructive with some of the things that are wrong with it and realistic about it. But it was weird. I just found myself, I watched the Miles Jacobson interview with, I can't remember what his name is.
We're at the space.
Yeah. And I'm slowly getting to grips with who the big names are in this space. And, there might be, I don't know. I might be bringing up people now. You might. Well,
it goes Jeb, me,
D
and Stakey from the pod, and then everybody else. If anybody tries to correct you on that, they're
well, that's why I'm on this pod.
Of course, absolutely.
Because I was invited onto all those other channels, so I was like, no, I can't do that. No. Yeah, exactly. But it's been fun getting to grips with them and their different approaches. And firstly, I don't know how they all managed to get through this game so quickly, and they're producing so many videos so often, and it's absolutely the content creation side of it I'm finding really interesting. But I have enjoyed like the roundtable that was recent with Benji and the guy you mentioned and the other two. was like a really interesting in-depth look into the game, and it was interesting as a fan of the game for them to hear a bit of the stuff like behind the scenes and what they think works and what they think isn't working. But I'm still loading up the game pretty much every day at the moment in the evening, and I'm still pressing continue, or now I can press my space bar to continue as well, which they've put back in. And I absolutely hate that I can't press space bar to move from news item to news item. I'll say that. Can I? I don't think I can, because I'm finding there's a lot of clicking on each bit of news.
I think they fixed that bit. It was never anything I did before. I've always been a mouse clicker. Like, I think I did spacebar sometimes. Spacebar actually used to be in Champ Manager to speed up the game, if I remember correctly. But yeah.
So obviously, yeah, space for continue. But if I've got news, it used to be that space would take me to the next unread, next unread, next unread, and when they're all read, then continue. And now I keep doing that automatically, and it continues. So that kind of thing annoys me. But does it really annoy me? Like, how long does it annoy me? It doesn't really matter. There's another match coming up. I've got to pick my team. I've got my new signing back from an injury. Like, all these little worries that I have surpassed by the joy that I get from managing a football team of players that I have bought, and they're winning and scoring. So, yeah.
Talk to us about this save then, because you've kind of alluded to your save on FM26 that you're really enjoying, and we've heard Premier League win, so you're already doing better than the two of us.
Well, I want to know from you two, because I haven't watched enough. Do people think this game is easy? Is this game easy? Or
I've played 20 matches in total and I've still not lost. But then I am Liverpool in the Premier League and Southampton in the Championship, but still I've not lost.
Okay. Rich, how have you found it?
Oh, I've lost. Oh, goodness gracious me. Goodness gracious me, I've lost. I'm finding, for me, I think there is, because I'm manager, I'm Feyenoord at the moment, and I think there is a distinct gap between the big three Dutch clubs compared to stepping up into a competition like the Champions League, for example.
Right.
So, you know, so that's, in terms of ease of game, I think you can, finding a tactical setup that works for you domestically is quite straightforward. But in terms of, I couldn't take my best 11 and I couldn't win the Champions League with that 11 unless I'm plugging in some ridiculous downloaded tactic from the internet, which isn't really my kind of thing anyway.
Okay.
I don't think it's as easy as some people might make out that it is. And I think sometimes when people talk about this game is easy, I think also context, isn't it? If somebody's saying this game is dead easy, and I've taken Rochdale to the Champions League in 3 years and I've won it, okay, fine, you're probably really good in the game is dead easy, but how have you done that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually with every single new Football Manager that comes out, as an Arsenal fan, I choose Arsenal because over the last, especially say 10 years of being an Arsenal fan, we've won stuff, but there's always been glaring issues and things to fix within the squad, players that aren't good enough, ideas, things I want to do. This is the first year where I haven't done that, because I believe we've got the best squad. To talk about real football very briefly, just one of the best squads we've ever had, 2 players in every position, etc. So I didn't do that, but I'd always like to be in the Premier League for my first season, because it's fun playing with the updated squads and going up against the managers that, you know, they're all up to date. So I picked Brentford because I thought it was an interesting challenge, because obviously in real life they've just lost Thomas Frank as well as some of their best players. Immediately got on board with the clauses thing, which is obviously now what everybody's doing with every single new save that they start, when you can check the transfer clauses and which ones you can sell. Because I think I trebled my budget by selling the various different clauses. And then I came fourth in my first season, got into the Champions League. I think I got to the next season, I got to the semis of the Champions League and came 6th in the league. And then in my third season, I've won the league and the FA Cup. And I've played the same tactics and formation throughout all those 3 series. My signings have been all right. Like, I don't think I've necessarily signed any. I don't have like a striker who's scoring loads of goals, or, you know, there's not like one secret. And I've seemed to have just done really well. I used to find in the old game or older versions that, remember when they introduced that if you play the same tactic the whole time, eventually the opposition will, like in real life, they'll be like, oh, they're doing this. This is what we do to stop them. And you'd go through some shit form and you'd have to tweak stuff. I haven't had to do that in this game. I've just played the same tactics in and out of possession. I don't even have a second tactic as a backup. And it's worked. So I don't know if it's just luck, like maybe I am just perfect for Brentford. If Brentford are actually a very good squad, I don't know what that is, but I've seemed to have done really well with them. But there is a little caveat and something funny that's happened at the end, which we can talk about in a second. But yeah, does that sound like I've just lucked out, or I don't know, because I'm not great at the game, like I say.
It's the second guess in a row that's embarrassing us, Rich. Like we need to sort this out. We need to find someone who's rubbish at the game to come play it. Like I think that's what we need now.
Yeah. If you're absolutely rotten at Football Manager, just please drop your name in the comments and the video watching on YouTube. We'll get you on the pod, and then we'll just do a bit of solidarity between us all. For me, it's the perfect Football Manager storm, because is it feasible that with the right tactics and the right system, teams, like a mid-table club could potentially start doing well? I think in terms of winning the league with a less reputable club or somebody, especially with the Premier League, somebody outside the big six, big issues are always going to come from other teams' form. So it's not necessarily always about keeping pace with like a Liverpool or a City or even an Arsenal in more recent years. Yeah. If the right teams start dropping points at the right kind of times, it's almost like you just concentrate on your next fixture and just concentrate on winning, and then just seeing what kind of happens at the end. I think with the right players, and it doesn't necessarily have to be wonder kids. What's the system? What's the one tactic that you've come up with? How are you lining up?
Well, I always used to just do the 4-1-2-3. Does that make sense? I don't even know what they call it, but I used to do 1 DM, 2 CMs, and then the inside forward and a winger. Sure. And now I'm doing the 2 DMs and the attacking midfielder in possession, and then out of possession, I think my attacking midfielder drops into central midfield, and my wingers come back. Sometimes I have an outlet winger, and that's it. That really is it. And as I said, I like signings wise, I couldn't tell you like a particular player that has come in and been incredible. I signed because Sunderland got relegated and I got Xhaka, and then he was amazing in my second season, great for Champions League. But yeah, it's just worked out well, and hence why I've been playing it so much and really loving it. But I wanted to tell you that in my third season, it was going okay. Each season it started quite badly, and then I've clicked and gone into to have a big run of form. My second season, about halfway through the season, part of me was thinking, what am I doing? Do I want to do a new save? This has been my good first game of the new game, first save of the new game. Shall I start something else? And then I was like, I don't know. And then Man United offered me a job interview. And I thought, okay, well, I'll save it and I'll go to the interview because I haven't had an interview in the new game. Is it any different? And then I answered all the questions.
Just to ask the question.
No. It's basically the same questions. But it did give me the option of when I'd like to join. And I said, I'd like to join at the end of the season. So that's different, is it? Because I can't remember if that was an option.
No, I think that was in the... Yeah, I've definitely had that before.
Oh, okay. So I said I'd like to join at the end of the season because at that time I was still in the Europa League and still in the FA Cup and doing all right in the Prem. I went unbeaten for ages at the end and I won it on the final day. So I didn't know I was going to win the league. But I said that to Man United thinking they would not wait because they had Duncan Fletcher as their coach. Not their goalie, their manager, and I just thought they're not gonna do this. And then they did. They said, "Yeah, we'll offer you the job. You can join at the end of the season." So I spent then the rest of the time being like, "Well, this is fun. It doesn't really matter now. I've got a new project. I'm going to go and be Man United manager." But then I signed like 3 really great players on to come at the end of the season on a free for Brentford. And as the season went on and kept on going so well, I was like, I don't want to go to United. I really hope there's an option for me to cancel it. I won the FA Cup, won the league on the last day of the season, got knocked out in the semi-final of the Europa League, and then season ended, and immediately it was like Manchester United welcomes Adam Richardson. I didn't get an option, which I guess is fair because you can't cancel players that you've signed in a similar way like that. And now I'm Man United manager, and I don't really want to be because they came 10th. They've got a transfer budget of 8 million. They've got no clauses that I can sell. Oh no, I did. I sold like 6 million's worth of clauses, and it didn't seem to get added to my transfer budget. And I can't sell any players. And Fernandez's contract ran out, and he left because he was unhappy because they finished 10th, even though he was still a 4-star player, like really good stats. And I've seen Brentford sign these 3 amazing players that I sorted for them, and I just wish I was still at Brentford.
So to bring it back to your wrestling podcast days, you've basically done the Steve Austin heel turn at WrestleMania. You should never.
Yeah, I have. But it's fun. It's nice to have the challenge, but I'm sort of like, when you know your squad really well, and you know what you're doing, and you've sorted all your staff out, because I did still like signing staff. Patrick Kluivert's my assistant manager, who I've brought over from Brentford. But it's like these players, the starting lineup's pretty good, but I've got no backups, and I mean, I should be able to improve on 10th, but it's rough. I shouldn't have accepted the job.
It's going to be really, really hard looking at your really beautiful, successful ex in the same league as you as well, isn't it? It's a real kicker. I've been there with the free signings as well, with those prearranged deals. I think FM24, I moved around clubs a lot because of the nature of the save I was doing at the time, and because all the clubs I was going to, the premise was it was going at kind of restoring reputations of formerly successful clubs.
Right. Okay.
Based
That's
around.
cool.
It was a throwaway comment. It was wordplay based on an Oasis song. It was called "What's the Story? Former Glory." Because
I think I remember you streaming that. Yeah,
I don't like Oasis, but I enjoy wordplay, and that was enough for me for the base of an 18-month stream save. But because a lot of the clubs I was going to, it was because the premise was previously successful clubs that might have dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
Once you start to progress in the save, you're bouncing around those kind of, those decent clubs in each country that you're going to. You might not necessarily be managing the best team in the nation, but you're not a million miles off. And you'd arrange all these really, really exciting free transfers.
Yeah.
And then that's the season you'd come, they haven't this, I was at Dortmund and they hadn't won the Bundesliga. Bayern had won 19 in a row. And they were going for the record-breaking 20th. I was like, we've got to stop them. And then we did it that season. And I was like, well, my job here is done now. I don't need to do anything else. So it's time to move on. And then you resign. And then a month later, those 3 incredible players that you've negotiated those deals for, they all turn up at Dortmund. And then you're always going back and you're looking at them and like,
constantly clicking.
Oh my God.
Like going on your ex's Facebook.
Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You've actually liked a picture from 6 months ago. You're like, they're going really well.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I want them to know. I want them to know that I'm still thinking about them. And it's such a kicker, especially. I went from Dortmund to Juve, who had, I think it was something like a £60,000 transfer budget. Antonio Rudiger had run them into the ground, shockingly enough. Who saw that coming? They had no money. The finances were a mess. No transfer budget. In terms of, and it might be the issue you've got with United, I wasn't entitled to any of my transfer revenue. So every player I sold, I think I saw 5% of that money come in.
It used to be easier to see where, because I can't find that in the new game.
Yeah. It's there.
And but you used to be able to ask for that to be upped as well, and I don't have that option.
And you've got to do some clicking, but it's definitely there.
Okay, I might have to ask you after to show me.
if I can remember, that's a very big ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being there and just struggling away at this, historically beautiful football club. I just keep looking back at Dortmund. Isn't he doing well? He's scored a hat trick. I really wish I had him. I've got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing. It's horrible.
I had 3 seasons of the network save when we did that last year when I was Wolves. Built up that beautiful squad and then went to Liverpool. and then signed back Curtis Jones, who Liverpool had sold to me because he was my best player, and then God knows how many other players I tried to sign from Wolves, and I finally got to be reunited with them when we did a World Cup save, and I took over Portugal, and half the players were Portuguese, so it was fine. But
that's nice.
It's a painful thing, but yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say that's the joy, isn't it? When you move on to another club, especially if you upgrade, then it's like, oh, I can go and get some of my favourite players who love working with me. And I was thinking, well, at least I could do that. Like there are a couple of young players I've got at Brentford who I reckon will come to United because of their stature and reputation. But then it's like even my reserve left back is worth 45 million. And I've got 8 million. But there's no players at Brentford in the squad of 22, 23, whatever, who are worth 8 million. I can't buy anyone from there, and I can't loan anybody. I've signed Lucas Torreira on a free, and apparently, he's actually still quite good in the game.
To what? Ex-Arsenal?
Yeah, ex-Arsenal. He's 30 because I've lost Fernandes and I've lost Casemiro, so I've gained loads of money for wages, and I just needed to get a couple of DMs in, so I just got a couple of free ones. Thinking I'll save for my raid of Brentford. But yeah, so I'm just basically starting the season with no signings. So that's never that fun, is it? That is literally half the fun is getting new players, your players through the door and seeing how they do.
That's it. Yeah. And I'm a big advocate of going back and signing players from your old clubs.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
Over and over and over again. Luka Toplovic and FM24 in that save, the What's the Story save. I think I signed him 5, maybe 6 times.
Amazing.
I think it was like £250 million I spent on him cumulatively over one save. And
that's impressive, actually.
Because I love it, because he's so good, and I've just.
He clearly loved you, yeah.
Oh yeah, we were like this. We were like this, honestly.
Signing all those contracts and then turning his back on the team.
The parasocial relationship I have with what is essentially an Eastern European teenager in real life. Papa Rich, no, and he's gonna be very scared of me. But I think it's great. It's one of the most underutilized things, especially if you're doing a journeyman save, moving club to club. No, take those players with you. Have your favourites, regardless of what the boards say. When those board ratings come in, and this is the worst signing in the club's history. Like, no, it isn't. I love him.
Yeah.
This third choice left back that's played for me at every club I've managed for the last 10 years. He's going to be great in the one appearance he makes for this team, and then he'll get a red card, and that's the only time he'll ever play for the club. But we gloss over that.
Yeah,
gloss over.
I might do a journeyman one next. I'm thinking basically now, I'm like, I had a thought yesterday when I was playing as Man United. I think maybe I'll try and see how many teams I can win the Premier League with, because I reckon I can do it with United. Like, hopefully I'll sort out my transfer budget by next season, and then I could win it within a couple of seasons, and then I might just do that for this save, just keep taking over. Because if I can do it at Brentford, I can probably do it with most of the top half, and then go from there. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Good stuff. As somebody, I can speak from personal experience. Winning the league with Man United is possible. It just helps if you don't have somebody else in the save offering each club you put a bid in for a player for £300 million for the same player, and then withdrawing the transfer offer.
What a shit! Was that you, Jed?
Who would do that?
It was.
Yeah, of course it was.
That is a horrid thing to do.
I know.
I'm never playing with you.
Honestly, Ad, he's evil. This is the therapy side. This is the support group side of things. Now he didn't first of all, he didn't have £300 million spent on Victor Osimhen, and nor did he want him. Didn't you sign him in the end, actually, Jeff?
Yeah, because I signed him for 70 million.
Yeah, spite. Good.
I signed him for 70 million, and I think he did score 7 games in one Europa Conference League game that we played, because we were somehow in that. So was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, in my 222 goal season, whatever it ended up being. It's like,
wow,
what a game! Absolute
what a game.
I know. We've talked about, we've got quite. I'm personally now quite angry. Now we're bringing up all these horrible network game save memories. I think we should already shift it over to something quite positive, possibly slightly off the beaten track of Football Manager. For the YouTube viewers, you might be able to see on Jeb's cam there, he's got a lovely T-shirt on today. He's got a
That is
beautiful
nice.
t-shirt. Isn't it a really, really nice t-shirt?
Lovely
It says
design.
Cupburger underneath that glorious little logo. We've mentioned Cupburger on the pod a few times recently, but as somebody who is very, very heavily involved in the project, speak to us of Cupburger. What's the crack?
Oh, okay. Right. Well, Cupburger is a community mutual aid fund, an organization that's been put together by a load of us in the wider sort of Twitch community that Jeb is very much a part of. And basically, it started because our community is lovely, friendly, amazing. We do a lot of charity fundraising. We do a lot of sort of spreading the word about important causes. We do a lot of my favorite streamers within the community, people like Scroobius Pip, B Dolan, often spend a lot of their streams talking about things they're really passionate about causes that they think are important. And also we look after our own. So whenever we know of somebody who's going through some shit, whether it be like some emergency dental work, or maybe somebody is having a tough time because they've lost their job and they've been unable to cover wages, or whatever it may be, cover rent. There's been numerous times over the years where we've sort of pointed people towards Ko-fis or GoFundMe's, or we've been like, hey, this person's having a rough time. I remember somebody had some emergency dental work, and I was like, well, why don't you share your Ko-fi account, and then we'll see, people here might have like spare money at the moment. And I remember that person ended up getting like 10 donations, and it really made a difference. And I remember thinking, that's so cool that we've got a community like that will rally around people. There were a few of us who were sort of having discussions about this, being like, we're at a bit of a shit time in the world at the moment, especially in this country, when there are lots of people who are desperately in need, and the systems that are supposed to be supporting them, even though a lot of them may be trying their best, places like the NHS, like, are giving incredible care, but people are being let down and aren't getting the care that they deserve as quickly as they should be getting it. So one example would be a friend of ours who is in need of a new wheelchair. They have a wheelchair at the moment that is doing the job, but actually it means they don't really want to ever go out in it, because after being in it for a few hours, it actually increases their pain. And there's this amazing new wheelchair that will totally improve their life in all sorts of different ways. And if they try and get it through the NHS, it's going to take them absolutely years, or it's just never going to happen. So that's something where we'd be like, oh, I'd love to be able to do that and help out with that, but we haven't been able to until now, because we have set up Cupburger, which is a mutual aid fund where anybody can chip in any amount they like. You could go on there right now and give us £2 and we'd be very happy. You could go on there right now and say, I'll give you £100 a month, which some people do, and we'd be delighted. And that money goes into a fund. None of the organizers, not any of our bank accounts. It's a separate fund, and it sits there. And when it's needed, we then pay it out to people. And you can go onto the Cupburger website and you can apply for our micro grants. So we have smaller grants where, if you are caught short, as I said, if it comes to rent payments, dental bills, vet bills, maybe your washing machine's broken, suddenly you're out of pocket, you just need a little bit of help. It's pretty much unvetted. It's kind of done on trust. We kind of know that people aren't just going to be taking the piss. A lot of the time, it's quite hard to ask for stuff like that. So we're not saying, show us a picture of your broken washing machine, or show me that your cat's not very well, prove it. We're just like, sure, take the money, here you go. And it's been incredible to see that happening. We've been raising money. The number that we've made has gone up loads. But then we've also seen people applying and taking money, and hearing people saying that has really helped me. Thank you. As well as those emergency situations, though, we've also encouraged people to apply for what we call, like, it's bread and roses. So like, bread is the stuff that you need to get by, whereas roses is the stuff that you need to actually just have a bit of enjoyment. And to have, there's lots of people who don't necessarily need emergency funds, but they get paid, and that covers the bills, the food, and then that's it. And they aren't able to do anything else. So we encourage people to apply for to get some money to go out to the cinema, or to buy some paintbrushes and some paint to start a new hobby, or to get yourself some new football boots, or whatever it may be. Buy yourself Football Manager 26 if you really want to. And it's been really lovely to see that side of things growing as well. But just in the last couple of weeks, and I'll stop this huge rant about Cupburger in just a moment, we have launched projects.
Not a rant. I was going to say, it's not a rant. So that's
it's not really a rant, but it's just a blurble of words. We've launched projects, which is supporting people that have needs that far surpass those sort of smaller grants. And our friend, and I won't name them because it's not up to, it's up to them whether they'd want to be named, who needs that wheelchair, has set up their own GoFundMe, and we have partnered with them as Cupburger. So obviously they're trying to get fundraising from friends, family outside of the Twitch community. But every single month we will take a big chunk of the money that we have in the Cupburger account and donate it to their GoFundMe, whilst also just promoting it in general and saying, if you want to support this person, the best thing you can do is just donate directly. But whatever happens, if you help Cupburger, we give money to that person at the end of the month. And we've got a few different projects. And it has been an incredible joy, because this year, obviously, there's a lot to be depressed about. There's lots of horrible things happening to a lot of people. And to be able to feel like you actually are making a difference has been wonderful. So I've got involved in the branding and design, and I sort of designed that little character that Jeb's got on his t-shirt. We've designed an advent calendar this month that is available on the Cupburger website, where you can go and get little ideas for why you might apply to use Cupburger. But there's just been an amazing group of people that have come together and given their time for free to get this built up. And we are very thankful that it is also something that is being supported by you guys and by the podcast. So it's beautiful. You're involved too.
We did it. It's all Jeb. It's all Jeb. Jeb made us aware of it. And what a truly incredible cause. Like, it genuinely, hearing you talk about it like that, and what Jeb's told us about it as well, I think it's truly wonderful, because I think one of the hardest things people can do out there is ask for help. And I think it's just knowing that there are avenues of support available to people that are struggling financially. So many things can go wrong in a short space of time that you don't think about on the daily, but when it happens, you don't realize just how much repairs cost. You don't know how much vet's bills cost until you find yourself in that scenario.
Oh yeah.
How much, white goods when they pack up, how much they cost to replace. It's a truly wonderful thing. So if our audience are in a position where they may need some support, obviously all the details for Cupburger, we've started adding it. If you've been listening to the pod for a while, you might have noticed we've been putting the B-roll on the end of the podcast. That's always on there. Links to the website are kind of in the descriptions of all the podcasts that we're putting out. That's all in there. So it truly is a wonderful thing. And even just being able to, promote it and talk about it is a wonderful, wonderful thing, because being able to help people is a really, really nice thing to be able to do. And sometimes you might not feel like, sometimes you feel like you want to do more. And sometimes it's just about pointing somebody in the right direction of that support. It's a truly brilliant thing that you guys are doing. And I think there's enough plaudits that, collectively we can give to everybody that's involved in it. It's truly, truly spectacular thing. Obviously, if this is not going to be an ongoing project, so you've mentioned the friend of yours who's in need of a new wheelchair. If they're happy for us to, we'd always be very, very happy to point people in the direction of that particular project that you've got going on at the moment. Because again, if there are people that are in a position to donate, if there's one thing that I can say about the Football Manager community from my experience and other people's experiences via, fundraising, I've done charity streams over the years. Friends of ours have done the same thing. The generosity of the community is incredible. And sometimes it's just about pointing people in the direction of the right things they need to do, or pointing people in the direction of people who require support. Sometimes that's all it takes. So what a genuinely outstanding cause.
Oh, thank you. Well, and I just wanted to say as well that, I think we've seen some amazing people in our community do some amazing things for charity, and charity is wonderful, no doubt, and very much needed, unfortunately. But you often with charity, you see that money, you're like, oh, here you go, here's £100 for this charity, and then it goes, and you don't know where it's going or what it's being used for. And I have every faith that the charities are doing the best they can with that money, but a lot of the time there'll be admin fees, or how much of that money is actually going to the people that need it, etc., etc. But with this, it is you can sort of see the difference that it's making, and you know that it's people within the community, or people that you sort of been like, I wish there was a way I could help them. And I don't really want to be like, can I transfer you? There's just, some of it can be a bit awkward, a bit weird, and you're like, is it going to be odd if I say, can I do this? But with Cupburger, it's just, you can give to this collective fund. But also we say to people, that also means that you're part, like, you might need it. Like, there are people who I know who have donated to Cupburger, but have also then suddenly found themselves in the shit for whatever reason, and have then applied for a grant from Cupburger. So it's like, when you're in as a supporter of Cupburger, you're in every single way. You can be involved in any way you like. You can take money from Cupburger, you can give money to Cupburger. It's just a pleasure to be a part of something like that, and to actually see the differences being made. Do give to charity as well if you want to. You've got charities that are close to your heart. But mutual aid is such a cool thing that I wasn't really that aware of before this year, and to learn more about it and to see how it all works, and like the trust system, as I said, is just a beautiful thing. It's really cool. And if you want to go to cupburger.org, we've got a website with all the information. Why is it called Cupburger? What is mutual aid? The different projects that we've got, and also how to apply if you're in need. So thank you for platforming it and talking about it and adding it to the podcast as well as a supporter. So we appreciate it.
Very glad to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speak for Rich and D, like D as well, and Stakey as well. That as soon as I mentioned it, it was just like, this is really cool. How do we get involved? And I think it's more that we can do about it. And like you said, it's not like charity; it's completely transparent as well. And I think that's sometimes really important. Like you said, you can see where all that money's going, or where it's going. Yeah. If you want to dig into it, it's about 2 clicks away. You can find it. There's the projects that have been added on there. So for the one that we mentioned, there's another one on there as well. Like, and the VT that will play out at the end of the pod that be put together about the projects as well. But yeah, if people want to get involved, like either way, it's really important. I think, like you said, that bread and roses thing is really important as well. Like sometimes it's just, I need a break, I want to go to the cinema or something like that, and you don't have that money. It's taking that roses, enjoying that night out at the cinema, or playing Football Manager. I don't know, it is that way. Because that is sometimes a way of therapy, which kind of nicely, I've done a segue, Rich. I've done a segue.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
you have.
Football Manager. Yes, so it's an escapism, and I think we can all agree with that. Is something you just go upstairs and you go into your virtual little world where you have your interviews and stuff like that. Have you used it in that way before? Like, you're very open about your mental health through your streaming, through watching your streams, and you've taken breaks and stuff like that. Is it something that have you used the game as well, like to escape, or just is it something that helps you?
Yeah. I think it's like the ultimate relaxing activity. It's in terms of gaming, and I think I was going to say that earlier when it comes to streaming. It's such a good game for streaming because it's not intense. You're not locked in. You can walk away at any moment. You can turn and do other stuff if you suddenly want to watch a YouTube video, whatever. It's just like it's company. I find Football Manager. It's beautiful in that sense. But I was thinking a little bit about if this game had been therapy to me before the podcast, because I like to be professional and do some prep. And I was thinking about a particular time when it was therapy to me, but I wasn't playing it. And it was during COVID, during lockdown, during the early stages when we'd first got locked down and everything was still pretty scary. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't really know, how people were catching it, all that kind of, the really weird times. My friend, Tom, who is sadly no longer with us, but he and this goes back to a few years ago when we were on a snowboarding trip and he broke his collarbone, and then he just stayed at the chalet for the rest of the week, put all of us as friends into the game through the editor and spent his time doing that. And I remember being like, that was a really fun time. But he did that again during those early days of COVID. He set up a brand new WhatsApp group. He added 4 or 5 friends from like school, old friends, but he also added some friends from his work or like London friends. And a lot of us didn't really know each other. So it was this brand new WhatsApp group. It's this new thing. And he was like, guys, we're going through a really shit, crazy time. I know a lot of you are worried. How about I enter us all into FM on the same squad and we follow all our careers? And he was sending us updates on this WhatsApp group with screenshots of every single one of us. He was like, right, here's your player. Here's your second nationality is Spanish, because I know you always like doing that, which is true, because my gran was Spanish. Here's your stats. And then it would be like, right, I've played through a season. Here's your stats for the season. Here's how this team has got on. Here's who's won what. Here's who's been called up to an international team, etc., etc. And it brought this group together in such an amazing way during such a weird, stressful time. It was so lovely. It was proper escapism, because it wasn't just playing the game. It was also, it was somebody else was playing the game, and there were these new friends I was making. And I remember a particular time when a load of us had got called up to the England squad for the World Cup. And he was like, right, tonight, 8 p.m, England are in the World Cup final. And whoever else, you're all in the team. I'm going to stream it on Zoom. And we all met up on Zoom and watched the World Cup final. And I've got screenshots that I printed my screen at the time of when we won that World Cup and the celebrations of all of us on the Zoom call happening. And in those weird people with long beards because they hadn't cut their hair during COVID, or it's just such a snapshot of like a wonderful, wonderful time. And also for me, my friend Tom, who I talk a lot about on stream, who unfortunately lost, he took his own life 3 years ago now. It's like a really lovely reminder of the kind of guy that he was and the kind of thing that he'd do to like bring people together. And so that was just, amazing escapism, and what a game that we were able to do that in.
That's amazing. Like, that's really amazing. Like, I've not heard that story before, but that's quite something to
like, yeah, it was cool.
That's truly wonderful. I mean, there aren't many other games that you could do that with people, to look at it from just a game perspective, but also what a guy, what a wonderful idea. And I think it's a mutual love of anything can at the best times be enough to bring people together anyway, but to take the time to make the decision to do that to support
I know so
a
much
wider
work.
group of friends, like the admin that's gone into that, just that frightens me. But like what a wonderful thing to do. And again, we mentioned it earlier, it's one of those things like, right, I'm going to put you in Football Manager, even if you've got a passing interest in football, to go, I'm going to be in a football. Okay, so suddenly I'm very, very invested in this.
Yes.
And like then get everyone together, get it on Zoom, get that cup final. Did he go full 90 minutes just out of interest? Because I know some people.
But it was definitely slower. It was definitely at a slower speed.
Yeah, some people we know will get the suit on, full 90-minute, cup final. But no, that's what an incredible thing to do. That's genuinely lovely.
I must say though, it was lovely, but it fizzled out slightly because we all got to the stage where our careers came to an end and we retired. But then he was like, "Hold on a second, our sons are now in the game." And so then all of a sudden he was sending us screenshots of our sons and what careers they were having. And slowly, like one by one, people were like, just stop, that nobody was leaving the group, but people stopped replying a bit, and it kind of fizzled out as he was trying to cling on to this thing. He was like, everybody loves that I'm doing this. We did, but we're out of lockdown now.
This is great, but you know what else is really nice? Going outside. But it's one of those. No, that's superb. I love that, and it's one of the things I think that we see quite a lot through other people's streams. You become invested in what's going on with other people around you. Like our we've mentioned it earlier, our friend Callum, who former member of the podcast. People are so invested in him and his save and his story and his relationships with the clubs that he's worked with in the past. Like I say, he had this wonderful relationship with Slough Town, and he's now got it with Stranraer up in Scotland as well. And people are just buying into it. but he's also he will involve as many human beings as possible in that journey as he can. You know, we've been down, we've watched pre-season friendlies at Slough. We went down and played a game this summer just gone, which was, I'm still tired after that game now. It was 6 months ago. I'm still a little bit out of breath. But he just wants to get as many people as he can involved in these projects. It's not just his project.
That's great.
It almost surpasses him. And it takes a certain kind of person to want to do that. And, you know, Tom sounds like a good dude, is all I'll say. You know, and people don't want to do that unless they are good people. You know, taking your own time to make something worthwhile to other people is a really, really valuable character trait that more people should have. You know, it's a truly lovely thing.
Time of need. You're right. No, thank you. Yeah, it was wonderful. I'd never do that. I've thought about doing it on Twitch a number of times. Like, can I be bothered to put all the people, our friends from Twitch, into it? And it takes so long, especially because I'd be a perfectionist about it. I'd want to get their attributes right, like what I think, the kind of player I think they'd be. You know, I'd want to get their height and their weight right. Well, there's no weight in the new game, right? So,
no weight, yeah.
That makes it easier.
Yeah. That's easier.
But yeah.
I was going to say Dee's not here at the moment, and he's just like, don't do it. Also, because I think he did it last year where he did it with community members, but then everyone could spin a wheel to bring their attributes up, and that was 4 hours of his stream. He did like a 5-hour stream, and 1 hour was playing Football Manager. The rest of it was just spinning a wheel for whoever wanted to upgrade their attributes.
Yeah.
You're in tier 10 of English football. You've got a Ballon d'Or winner at left back because you've got perfect 20s in every single attribute and every single kind of player trait going. And it's like, he's so it takes a while. It really, really does.
Yeah, I'm gonna suppress that urge.
I think our favourite thing was that me and Rich submitted our players completely separately. Not spoke about it in any shape or form, but we both put ourselves as from the African nation of Djibouti. Like this most random, and I think you made yourself like a 5 foot forward, and I made myself a 7'2" forward, so we were the biggest partnership.
Big man, perfect.
Yeah, I think I was 5'4", but I was about 18 stone because it was back on FM26 where you could include your weight. So I was a barrel. I was a tuna can of a human being, and then there's just like huge Jeb next to me. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Shout out Djibouti. Like, what a country. What a nation. What a footballing nation. What a footballing nation. Great pub quiz answer as well, because they may still well be, I haven't checked for a while, but they are the nation who, for a very, very long time, their population was closest to 1 million people without going over it. So there you go.
Oh.
Don't anybody say that this podcast isn't educational, because you've all just learned that. There you go. You're welcome, audience. You're very, very welcome. Jeb, before we start to wrap things up, do you reckon we've got time for a little game to finish the podcast?
We've got time for a little game, but you missed off the other bit that we ask. Do we ask them to ask us a question?
There is that bit. Of course there is.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but whatever you have, go on.
You're not taking up enough of it, if I'm honest with you. So you can tell, you can tell somebody had a week off last week and I've forgotten how to run a podcast. Yes, we normally we do like to ask our guests when we have them on if they have a question for us as a podcast, be it a collective question for the two of us, be it individual questions. The floor is once again yours. Ask away, whatever you like.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about this before, and I had a sort of positive and a negative question, but I think because of the way that we've ended the podcast, talking about Cupburger, talking about my friend Tom and what he did during lockdown, and it's just felt really lovely and warm and cozy at the end, and sort of a positive vibe. I'm going to go for the positive one, and I want to know, Rich and Jeb, I'm going to put you two on the spot, and you're going to talk about positive things about each other here. If you had to pick one of the attributes, a player attribute for each other that you think is 20, which would it be? And I think that we're not going to go physical. You're not going to say, "Oh, I think Jeb's jumping reach is 20." Or so. I'm thinking mental. I'm thinking I want you to have a look at those mental, the player stats available in the mental column, and I want you to. This is a chance for you two to be nice about each other. Jeb, what do you think Rich has 20 in? Maybe multiple things. I mean, it could be technical as well, but whatever you want.
Positioning.
He does look great in the middle of the frame right now. Positioning in what sense, Jeb?
No. I think, I think it is
composure.
No. I think positioning does actually work a little bit that way. I think it is Rich has actually positioned himself with the Football Manager, but the comedic side of things as well. Like the fact that we've been doing a podcast now. We're 123 episodes in doing it together, and like we've done quite well, and we've got to know each other very well that way, and that's been really lovely. But then Rich's, I think the way me and him can bounce off each other has been really lovely as well. The fact that his stupid save ideas come off me just saying a flippant comment to him. So this year's save idea, what is it, Rich?
So it's the Beautiful South, because last year we did an Oasis song, and I thought we needed another mediocre 90s song to base a save off, and then out came the Beautiful South because it's managing in Rotterdam, Liverpool, Rome, and also anywhere. So
that's ridiculous.
That's the basis of another year's worth of content for me. Some people spend hours planning, days, months planning their saves. They'll start, right, okay, well, the new game's dropping in November, allegedly. Better start thinking about it over the summer to get everything in place. I'm like, nah, throwaway comment on the podcast. That is enough for me I will make this work over the next year because it's better than anything I could come up with. Genuinely. Very, very good.
I thought you were going to say, you could be Portsmouth, Southampton, Brighton, and actually teams on the south coast or something. But
that would make more sense.
No. I like that you've gone for a specific song because it links back to the other old save idea, like you said. But it's really it's got anywhere as one of the options.
Yeah, it's really easy for D to make the theme tune for him. So yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's D great. Has made me 2 wonderful theme tunes. There's a really, really nice one, and I've put it on as a redeem on Twitch because people like making noises on the streams, and the fact that there's a Beautiful South theme with nice in parentheses at the end, and then there's a longer version, and people just go, well, I'll play the longer version. It costs more channel points, A, because it's longer, and B, because it's so good. I'm convinced people that are close to getting me at their house for a stand-up gig are going to be moving slightly further away from that in the long run.
That's good.
But it's just D looping himself singing anywhere or anywhere or anywhere or anywhere over and over again until it becomes quite jarring. And then it moves really, really nicely back into into the proper version. The thing that gets me about that, I love it every time people redeem it, because if you listen to it very, very closely, you can hear D go just at the end of it. He's giggling because it's just so stupid, and he's left it in there, and he just starts to go, and then it kind of cuts back into the or anywhere, Liverpool or Rome, and it's lovely. It really is. But yeah.
Useful.
Yeah, I'll take the ball and run with it when Jeb says something stupid. Absolutely, 100%.
It's nice. So positioning 20. That's a good one to have. Actually, it's a handy.
Yeah, my throwaway comment I kind of elaborated on, so I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, Rich, anything come to mind immediately in terms of a 20 attribute you think Jeb's got?
Work rate for me.
Oh God, yeah.
Work rate.
Even I know that from just hearing about a lot of Jeb's stuff.
Anybody who knows Jeb, and I think this kind of, to expand on that kind of the traditional sense of work rate, just know that he's constantly on the go, but he also throws as much into relationships and friendships that he does his day job. Jeb pointed out we're 123 episodes in now since I kind of took over the pod from Matt and Tony back in the day, which at the time was a terrifying experience for me because I'd always been like the third man. There were the 2 front men, Matt and Tony, and I was just there behind the scenes. And then suddenly being put forward into the limelight, and then it becoming mine. We put together a list of people that I would like to work with me on the project if they had the capacity, and Jeb was one of them, and I couldn't have done it without him, and I couldn't do it without him now. He's wonderful. He alluded, before we started to, I think it was just before we started recording, we were talking about some bits and pieces. Jeb was, I think the first time I properly spoke to Jeb was on a Zoom call, and 5 minutes into that Zoom call, I had to mute up because I got a phone call from a family member saying that my dad had died, and Jeb just got to Jeb got to watch that happen in real time on mute, which must have been a very, very bizarre experience for him. But after that, he just became a friend. And I'm very, very lucky to have. Everybody needs a Jebbaroo. We've said that about a lot of people that have been on the podcast. Everybody that's been involved in the podcast over the years has been brilliant in some capacity. And a lot of people bring a lot of different things to the table. Our friend Kev, who we had with us on the pod for years, is one of the most aggressively positive people you will ever meet. And he's such a good influence on everybody that meets him. Jeb cares about his friends. And that is such an underrated thing to have, and I don't think you realize how much you miss having it until you've had somebody that does it as much as Jeb does. Jeb gives a shit about the people in his life, and that is truly it's a really, really fortunate thing to be on the receiving end of, and it's also simultaneously a really, really joyous thing to be able to watch him doing for other people as well, because he just cares about people, and it's a really, really nice thing. I would never say any of this to his face, by the way. I think it's very important that he never hears this.
Yeah, of course.
But he's if he asks.
Sorry, I was away for a bit.
If he asks, I just said acceleration or something. I don't know, but he's
God.
In the words of the internet meme, I can't believe you've done this, Ad. But there we are.
I know. It's just randomly came into my head. And then I was like, but they're not going to be physical, are they? And then technical would be like, unless they played football. And then, maybe it's going to have to be mental. I was like, well, I hope it gets really wholesome. And it did. And I love that. And I think it's important to have
somewhere on the south.
Champion your
somewhere
friends.
on the south coast of England, our friend Kev is really, really happy listening to this. And again, that's quite a nice thing.
Hello, Kev.
Hello, Kev.
Hello, Kev. That's all I've got for you, Kev. Hello, Kev.
Hiya, Kev. That's all he'll need. He'll be bouncing off that for days. Bless him. But no, lovely stuff. All right, fine. Quite.
Right. Yes, I have a little quiz. I'm glad you didn't say 24 creativity, because I did make this before the podcast.
Hey,
Let's get quizzical. I want to get quizzical.
He's not singing this live.
There you go. There's a quiz theme.
Wow, you didn't need to record that. You could have just said that. There's not even any effects on it.
I know, exactly. Dean, you don't have to worry. Same with Michael, but he doesn't have to worry either. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, we've done it a few times. And I think Rich has done nationality stuff and things like that. So what it is, nice and simple. Arsenal were famously the first Premier League team to field 11 foreigners in their team.
Yeah.
Between you, can you name...
Oh, thank God it's between us.
Yeah, between you against each other, in my eyes. The 29 countries that have had Arsenal players that have made over 100 appearances.
29? I've been going quite a long time already, Jeb.
Yeah. I know. You don't have, no, to be fair, I'm giving you 3 lives in total, and then we're just going to give up.
Okay.
And if you can,
are we
this
working
is easier for me
as
an Arsenal fan. So we're going to take it in turns, and then whoever loses 3 lives first.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I think Rich should have the advantage of going first.
How dare you? Add you're the guest.
Because you're not an Arsenal fan, are you? I actually don't.
No,
you're a Wednesday fan, aren't you?
I'm not at all, no. But so please, I insist. You go first.
Oh, do you?
I do.
England.
Well done. Yes, there's a lot of them. Can you name one of the England players, Ad?
Francis Jeffers. Are you going down and checking?
I'm checking. Because I do want to confirm if that is correct. I don't know. I
think he got an England cap.
Anyway, no, not England cap. It'll just be 100 appearances for Arsenal.
I think he's English.
Yeah. I was going to say Francis Jeffers definitely didn't have 100.
No, he definitely didn't get 100 appearances. But that doesn't matter now, does it? It's just about the nationality for you. Okay, in that case.
Yeah, Francis Jeffers is not on the list for the 100 appearances. But anyway, Rich.
But he's still English.
Yeah,
I think he played more for Wednesday than he did at Arsenal. He barely played for Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to go for another easy one. So just it's players, it's nationalities with over 100 appearances for Arsenal.
Yep.
Is that
Single
cumulative
players.
across single?
No, not
Single
yeah.
players. Well, I'm with you. French.
Let me double check my list. Yes, there you go.
Yes,
Can you name a player,
yeah.
Rich?
I don't think that's any of your business, Jeb.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Spain.
Spain? Yes.
Germany.
Yes.
The Netherlands.
Yes.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. That tracks. It might seem like I'm going out there early doors here, but the Ivory Coast.
Can you name the players?
Is it Colo Torre?
Yeah, there you go. Or Pepe. Yeah, one or the other. Remember him?
Did Pepe
yeah.
make over 100?
70 million.
Good for him.
Okay. I will go for. Why am I finding it hard already? Czech.
Ooh.
Not Petr Cech.
Ooh.
Czech Republic.
Petr Cech and Thomas Rosicky.
Yes.
Okie dokie. I'm going to go for Brazilian.
Oh,
Yes.
I would assume Gilberto Silva.
Yep.
If not, maybe
Martinelli.
Martinelli,
Yeah,
that
Gabriel.
tracks. Yep.
Okay. I'll go for Norwegian.
Yes. Name the one player. I'm sure you can.
Odegaard.
Yep, there you go. See you.
Of course it is. Okie dokie. Let's go with. Ooh. For some reason, I think he played over 100 games. Was Thomas Kleb from Belarus? I feel like he was Belarusian.
Yes.
So I'm
Nice.
assuming.
Wow,
I'm assuming
that is a
he's
great
on there.
one.
Alexander Kleb. But yes.
Alexander Kleb, sorry, yes. I'm thinking
Yeah,
I've
the other
combined
Kleb.
Thomas Rosicky with Alexander Kleb there to
Yeah.
form the ultimate spindly-legged midfielder. There we go.
Togo.
Yes.
I wanted to save this. I wanted to save that.
Oh, that's a
I-
great shout. Oh, I like that. I like that one a lot. I would assume. Oh no. No, I'm immediately backpedaling on that one. Immediately backpedaling. No, he signed too recently, and I can't think of anybody who was there before him from that country. What about Portugal?
No, first one wrong.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to think of any Portuguese players. We definitely haven't had many. I'm thinking outside of Europe, but I might come back to Europe. Scotland. There's
Yep.
got to have been, yeah.
Yeah. Kieran Tierney's the most recent one.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
But there's a lot of older ones. So
Yeah, I thought
I
there'd
wanted
be
to
some
go,
very
go
old
further
ones.
back.
On that basis, then, surely there's a Welshman with 100 appearances for Arsenal.
Yep, Aaron Ramsey.
It's Aaron Ramsey. Of course it is. Of course it's Aaron Ramsey. I forget
case-
I
about
think it's
Aaron
only
Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey, actually. Yeah, it's only
Is it
Aaron
really?
Ramsey. Yeah.
I always forget about Aaron Ramsey.
I'll go
And his horribly kidnapped dog.
for David O'Leary for Republic of Ireland. Oh God. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
With Liam Brady and a few others.
Yeah.
Okay. Working me way. Ooh. Sweden. Freddie Ljungberg.
Oh,
There
yeah.
we go.
I was thinking
And
Sweden. I
Limpar
couldn't
as
think of
well.
any players apart from Stefan Schwartz.
And Limpar.
Limpar, yeah.
Kim Kallstrom, but he's not got 100 appearances.
Oh,
I don't
he's
think he
not
had
got
one.
100, no.
Signing a player with a broken back.
No. There must be some other African
You have to hurry, yeah.
players.
I'm going to push on it now.
Okay, fair enough. I will, in that case, go for Russia.
Yes.
Did Arshavin play more than 100 games?
He did.
Oh, yes.
That's a great shout. Have we had Norway yet?
We have.
Oh, we have had Norway.
So that's two down.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, because
I'm gonna be harsh today.
We've done 15 teams, haven't we?
I was thinking.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not counting that yet.
We've done an amount of teams.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go for.
You got the wrong country there, Rich. Just so you know for next time.
Oh, bugger. Okay, good.
Unless Ad wants to be horrible if you heard any of that. But
No.
we'll see.
No, yeah.
No, I think I've missed what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm going to go for. There's going to be some huge players, but we need to speed this up. So I'm going to go for. I can't think of any countries, so let's just go for Italy. Although we've really hardly had any Italian players.
Yeah, the first one wrong.
Fuck's sake, yeah, like Venazza, whatever his name was. I can't think. He's probably English. Can't think of any Italian players.
No, I was going to say.
Although I think we've had one recently.
Was Vito Minone?
Vito Minone, yeah.
Is he Italian?
I don't think he got. Yeah, I don't think
he got enough, did he? Don't think he got enough.
So Italy is wrong.
Okay. Jeb, can I have famously Danish player?
Yes, you can. Nicholas Bentner.
Yes. Nicholas Bentner, yeah, famously Danish, not Norwegian. Good.
Okay,
so John Jensen's on there as well.
Ah, okay.
Yes, he was one of my favourites when I first started supporting them. In terms of Finnish players, we've had Mark Poom? Oh, he's Estonian, and he definitely didn't play 100 games. So now I'm trying to think of other players and other countries. I can't think of any players or countries. So I want to say America, like USA, but nobody with 100. So okay,
you said loads of countries.
Okay, fair enough.
Second life down.
I've lost 2 lives. Have we both lost 2 lives?
Yes, we have.
I'm the Arsenal fan.
We have.
Terrible.
Oh no! I thought I had one then, but now I'm now doubting. I thought I was onto a winner. I can't remember.
I've got one.
Oh, good. No pressure then. No pressure. No, I think he wasn't from there. He might have been from there. No, he definitely wasn't from there. All right, I'm going to throw one out there. Hail Mary, Argentina. I can't remember many Argentinian Arsenal players, but maybe there's one that put up numbers.
Rich loses.
Nelson Vivas, he didn't have 100.
No.
Can I have Cameroon to seal the win?
Cameroon, that's correct. Lauren or Alex Song. You could have had Belgium for Vermaelen or Trossard. You could have had Bosnia for Kolasinac. Egypt for El Neni. Aubameyang from Gabon.
That's frustrating.
Nigeria for Kanu and Iwobi. Pat Rice or Pat Jennings for Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And Oleg Luzhny for Ukraine.
Yes.
And
the horse.
And the Swiss trio, the previously mentioned in the podcast, Xhaka, Giroud and Senderos.
Oh, of course. God, what an awful period that was. But yeah. That was fun.
Chesney, that was the one you missed out on. Poland.
Yes. Well, welcome, Ad, to the trivia portion of the podcast where you forget everything that you know about not just football, geography. Countries, countries in general. Yeah.
Everything.
Honestly.
I was trying to think of positions as well. I was like, what positions are there that I haven't thought of players? I can't think of the players, and I'll think of other positions.
Yeah.
I've done goalies. Have I done right backs? What's after right backs? Is it left backs? We got there in the end.
Yeah. So probably the most famous answer we've ever had is why Callum thinking Roberto Martinez was Belgian. So.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Goodness gracious me. Well, there we go. We've talked about Football Manager. We've talked about Cupburger. We've talked about nice. We've been nice to each other. I've lost a quiz. This feels very much to me like the end of an episode of a podcast.
Me too.
Lovely stuff.
I've loved it.
Well, as is tradition, before we start to wrap things up, if you would like to tell the people where they can find you on Twitch, if you want to plug Cupburger, anything else you might want to plug to the people, please take the opportunity now to shout out all the good things that you do.
Yep, here we go. Twitch.tv/ad_ad_ad. Or you can go to YouTube and look for ad_ad_ad to check out all my old videos. You can go to ad_ad_ad_plays for my exclusive YouTube playthroughs. I hate the underscores and having to say it, but otherwise people wouldn't type it correctly. Cupburger.org for all the lovely information on Cupburger. And I've got no social media because I got rid of it all a couple of years ago. And now I'm a smug person who's not on any of it and says, you losers, what are you doing scrolling on your phone? Yeah, so you can't come and follow me and watch what I've had for lunch unless you come and watch my streams.
Sounds good to me. Jeb, where can the people find you being you?
Twitch.tv/Jebaroo. I am doing me. You spoke about earlier, Rust is back probably this week when the pod goes out, actually.
So, that is soon, isn't it?
18th of December, Rust is back.
Oh, Jeb is a fantastic Rust player as well. Some of my favourite streams of Jeb's and just streams in general has been watching Jeb play Rust.
We'll see what we can get up to this year. So.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
And what about you, Rich?
Twitch.tv/dboyplays, twitch.tv/RichOwensFM. So that was for D as well, who's not here this evening, but we love you. We miss you, D, and that's where you can find D doing his streams, and mine is twitch.tv/RichOwensFM, where I'm playing Football Manager adequately-ish, maybe. I don't know. Come hang out. We have a nice time. Fellas, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for going on the podcast, mate. It's been lovely to chat to you this evening. And
it's been brilliant. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, anytime. You'll be coming back at some point, just to make you aware now that you're definitely coming back on the podcast.
Yes.
He's a nice boy.
Yes.
Jeb, you can come back on as well, Jeb.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
yes. Even better.
Yuck, yeah, man.
Yes.
What a day. So you bring people on, you let them win quizzes, then they want to come back on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a self-sustaining cycle of booking guests.
I'm ending happy, and I'm not slapping the floor like the losing manager does in every single game of FM26.
Yes, please, more animations.
Up yours, the touchline, they cry. Thank you, Ad, for joining us. Jeb, thank you for being here as always. And thank you, the audience, whether you are watching, listening, however you are consuming this podcast. We appreciate you enormously. That wraps up for another episode of Football Manager Therapy. We will see you on the next one. Take care. Love you lots.
Bye!
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's me, Cuppy. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I tried for a little while. Hey, you know Cupburger. It's a mutual aid fund created by us for us to take care of our needs. Folks have been applying for grants, getting paid out. Folks have been donating, giving us money every month. We're so grateful. This has been really cool work, and we've met a lot of need already. However, there are some projects that we've been wanting to address that are above our monthly cap allowance. So we've created special projects, and we're launching special projects. If you have a need that is more than our monthly allowance, get in touch. Admins will get in touch with you. We can help you set up a GoFundMe, and Cupburger will be paying out up to 50%. So these are just burgers that look like, anyway, don't get distracted. Up to 50% of our income every month will be paid out to special projects who we have partnered with until those projects' needs are met. Meaning, you may see new chat commands in chat that tell you to go direct to a GoFundMe if you want to give someone money. That's because they're a Cupburger partner, and Cupburger is working with them to fulfill their crowdsourcing needs. Special projects, now a part of Cupburger. Give money. Apply. Cupburger. Have a great day. Bye.